Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, the podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And Karen, what are we talking about for this episode?
Milwaukee Metal Fest 2025.
Yeah, this is like one of our big highlights of the year for us. It's the thing that we look forward to the most. One of the things.
One of the two, yeah. Because the boat's the other thing that we always look forward to. So. Yeah.
Which
is kind of good. The one's in the spring and one's in the fall.
Yeah, so. We've had this conversation that we want to try to go to more festivals and different festivals, but it's kind of hard to like not go to this one.
I know, yeah.
Which like Maryland Death Fest is right around the same time, which seems like it'd be a super fun festival to go to. Yeah. Which is obviously out in Maryland. And so like we can't afford to like go back, to both of those places or whatnot, or at least not that close to each other.
Right. And Sonic Temple's like the weekend before generally. So
another one should be super fucking awesome to go to.
Yeah. So it is kind of, it's like if we make Milwaukee Metal Fest always our thing every year, then we can't do it with work and everything like that.
Yeah. And it's always a blast anyway. Like the bands, like I can't think of a single Milwaukee Metal Fest, including this year, where the lineup was out and I'm just going through, it's like, holy shit. It's more, in terms of like the bands of the lineup, it's more of like, oh, I fucking love that band. Let's go check that out. And also knowing that it's just going to be great. Like all the bands are going to be great anyway. I trust in Jamey and Milwaukee Metal Fest for putting on this festival. So it's like, I know I'm going to have fun. It's at the Rave too every year. So it's like, fuck, this is awesome. I know I'm going to have fun. Regardless if I know all the bands or not, I'm going to discover new music that I'm going to love.
I think this year you even mentioned that there's more bands this year that you didn't know about than previous years, like going through it. Like there was a few bands I knew about, but like you were like, oh, I've never heard of them. Or
yeah, it's weird because we talked about this like when we were doing the vlog and stuff that I'll try to get put together real soon. We're in the middle of one. I'm almost done with it. And then I'll do the vlog for this one. So hopefully, mid to late June, early July, that one will be out. But, I forgot a lot of the bands. I'm going through. It's like, I don't remember seeing many bands that I liked yesterday, or not that I liked, but that I knew about. And they're like, but Chimaira was there. It's like, holy shit, that's right. They were there. I forgot that they were there type thing. So we'll talk about that here in a second. Before we dive super deep into it, which we've already started, I guess. Let's go over my numbers. I liked going over the price tags and whatnot. So ticket prices real quick for this. This year we paid $297 for the tickets with $92.42 in fees. And $28.05 in tax, which really, honestly, and that's for the early entry VIP balcony.
GA balcony.
Yes, GA balcony. Yeah. So with this, you were able to get up into the balconies. The first year you got into the second stage balcony. I think the second year, last year, you were too, but they kind of were a lot more lenient. And then you get into the ballroom balcony as well. You don't get those box seats that they have, except for all the way on stage right, stage left. There's 3 to 4 that are typically open, depending on how many they sell.
Sunday there was 6 on each side. Yeah. So, yeah. I think it is depending on how many.
Saturday there were only 3, I think. Yeah. I can't remember how many there were Friday, if it was 3 or 4 or whatnot.
4.
Was it 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I do think it's how many they sold, because that's another tier up in terms of VIP. You get sort of like an assigned seat in one of those boxes. We get that to get up in the balcony. It used to be really nice because that's where the air would come in.
It was, yeah.
Now they have air conditioning, so that helps. It wasn't really a factor this year because it was so fucking cold.
It was like 50 degrees, so no air conditioning needed.
But it's also fun just to go up there, especially late Saturday afternoon and Sunday as well, just to find a box and sort of sit down for an act and just sort of rest your legs and recoup a little bit.
Yeah, it is nice to have that little seat in the middle of the day. So
yeah.
But if you don't do GA, there are I saw a lot of people sitting in the ballroom, like on the steps, or like on the steps, because there's like a little teeny tiny step to go up.
Oh, like that main step down to the floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I saw a lot of people sitting there, or outside there are tables with chairs. So like if you need a seat, it's not like you have to pay the price to get a seat.
And then just kind of comparing this to last year's prices even, we ended up actually paying less than we did last year.
Oh, wow.
For basically the same ticket. Last year we paid $336. Less fees though last year, about $75 in fees and $31 in tax, which I think is comparable. And then the year before also was in that like 300 range, 328, so a little bit less than the second year. and then $43 in fees and $2 in tax and whatnot. So tax went up over the last couple of years. Fees roughly the same. The first year I think they were a little less, and then the second year price was the most. And maybe that was for the bands they got last year. I can't remember exactly. They had Slaughter. That was probably a big band. They had to pay. Blind Guardian as well, and then Mr. Bungle probably has a pretty high price tag as well to bring them to the festival.
That could be part of it, is like the bands that were there.
So yeah. Do you just want to dive into it? Maybe start with the pre-party?
Yeah, let's talk about the pre-party, and then we're just going to kind of go over highlights this year. We're going to try to not have this be 3 hours, because I think the last 2 times we've done these episodes, they turn into really, really long episodes. So
we do go a lot more in depth than we have in the past. So we'll try to, as you said, not if he has verbose.
We do have a vlog that you said you'll get done in a month or 2.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
It should be.
June we're not as busy, so hopefully there's plenty of time. So, and then, but yeah. Anyways, so pre-party.
So it was $30 for tickets you can buy just for the pre-party ticket.
Yeah.
Or if you have a 2-day or a 3-day pass, you got in for free.
Yeah.
So we got in for free with our ticket, which is an extra day of concert. So it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So the pre-party was Thursday, May 15th, the night before. And there was 4 bands, Sacrament, XCOM, Josta and Friends, and then headlined by Flotsam and Jetsam.
And that order was bottom of the bill up.
Yes.
Working up.
Yeah, that's why I said headlined.
Yeah. But like the other bands as well, like bottom of the bill working your way
starting at the beginning of the night up. So, but similar to last year, Josta had random artists come out, people who were playing over the weekend, people who, some local guy came out, Scott Ian's son came out and drummed, so.
And he also played in basically the same slot, that third that he did last year.
Yeah.
And the first year we didn't go to the pre-party we were going to, but like the traffic getting out of Chicago was fucking hideous.
Yeah, it was Memorial Day weekend. We left on Thursday thinking we would get there on time, and it took us 2 hours to go 8 miles.
Yeah, which is why we go up now the night before and take Amtrak. So.
Yeah. Well, and our car got broken into the first year.
That's right, yeah. So, okay, that makes sense, yeah.
That's why we take Amtrak every time we go to Milwaukee. Yeah. But anyways, so last year they did this year they did meet and greets. We didn't partake in those.
Yep.
Last year they also did the Rave tour, which is what we were doing during the first band.
Yes.
Or first 2 bands, maybe.
I think so. I think during the first 2.
So this year we didn't partake in any of those activities. We just went strictly for the music and saw the bands. I do like that they had, because last year there was a DJ after Josta and Friends at 10 o'clock. This year, Flotsam and Jetsam played, and so the venue stayed full.
Yes.
Where last year, everybody bounced.
Right, yeah. Basically, after Josta and Friends, it was sort of like, all right, everybody's leaving. There may have been a few people hanging out and just listening and just sort of hanging out and whatnot, right? Yeah. But for the most part, everybody left. And yeah, I don't know. It was kind of cool that it was just bands this time instead of a DJ, I guess. I could see the DJ aspect of it being cool. I thought that would be fun. But we stuck around for like 10 minutes and nobody else stuck around. So it's like, well, I'm not going to hang out if nobody else is here.
Maybe if it was opposite, where like, say doors open at 6 and then the band start at 8 and a DJ plays from 7 to 8 while people are coming in.
Or even during like the set changes and whatnot as you're tearing down and putting the set up. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. But yeah, just like
you just do house music anyway. So then you're like, and I think SAD did that, didn't they? In Madrid when we saw the Takeover show.
Yeah, the Italian Metallica tribute band.
Like the radio jockey lady was up there playing stuff in between sets and whatnot.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, like I guess what I'm saying is like flip-flop it. I understand what you're saying in between sets, but that could get in the way of people tearing stuff down and stuff. Maybe. I don't know.
Depending on how you set it up, for sure.
But just flip-flopping it where the DJ does like, I mean, I'm just thinking like a wedding or any party where it's like you have kind of music going on when people are filtering in.
Getting into the bands a little bit, Sacrament, I really liked their sound. I liked their energy. I don't know. It was a cool set.
They were fucking children.
They were children, yes.
Both XCOM and Sacrament
were so young. As was
young.
the next band, XCOM comes up, and they're fucking children as well.
And even, so XCOM has Scott Ian's son, who
on
is
drums.
13.
Is he 13 or 14?
He's 13. I said 14 when I texted you because he was born in 2011. So that's why I said 14, because I was just doing the math.
Gotcha.
His birthday must not be yet, so he's still 13. Okay. So.
I was not a fan of XCOM. not that they're children or anything. The sound just wasn't really my thing.
It was kind of
first off
punky and like all over the place. Yeah.
So, all right, fine, whatever. I'm not the biggest on the sound and whatever, but whatever. I'll hang out and listen to your set and check out your energy and all that. But then like the constant, let's see this crowd move, and like nobody would move, and they seem to get a little agitated by it and pissy with the crowd a bit. And it's like, dude, like, I don't know. This happened a lot over the weekend, I thought, and it did make me think about it, of bands, especially earlier bands in the day, being like, let's see some fucking energy, wake the fuck up, let's go. Like, it didn't just happen with this band. It happened with several times throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
And a part of me, like, I don't know the music. I don't know how many people here actually do know the music. Sometimes there's like barely any people at the stage that early in the day and whatnot, right? So I'm here to check out the music and check out who you are and listen to it for the first time. So I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. So I'm mainly here just consuming it for the first time and enjoying it for the first time. And have you like scream at me to like, let's see some fucking action going out there. Wake the fuck up. Part of it's like, I don't know if I like your shit yet. Like, I'm not going to like, I don't know. That's just me first and foremost. Secondly, I'm not that type of person who likes to be in the pit anyway. I like to be on the edge of it if I am near it. I do love the energy in the crowd when I'm in it, but I also just like to hang back and listen to the music and just enjoy music and being there at a live setting and whatnot. So I don't know. It kind of went back to who is the band you hate?
Vomit Forth.
Vomit Forth. They did the same thing of like constantly yelling at the crowd to like see some movement and whatnot. So
I understand trying to get movement.
Yeah,
I do that. Vomit Forth for me, and we have an episode about me seeing them in Ireland last year, and which is the first time I saw them. And we have an episode about the Chaos and Carnage show,
which will be out soonish.
After this, it'll be after this. We kind of had some shows bunched up, so we want to get Milwaukee Metal Fest out. But the part that gets me is in Ireland. The vocalist was like, I fucking came from America to play for you guys. And that just got to me. And then at Chaos and Carnage, he was like, why the fuck am I up here if you're not going to move? And the crowd was moving at Chaos and Carnage. In Ireland, no, nobody was. I mean, they were the first fucking band and nobody was there. There was like 14 people in the venue.
Yeah.
So,
in XCOM, nobody was moving either.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's see some fucking movement. And I don't know, part of it was just like, fuck you guys, you aren't moving. It's like that sort of attitude. And it's like, well, fuck you, your music's not that good.
Right.
Like,
and
that's sort of where my mindset went to. Like, if you're going to sit here and keep yelling at us to move and we're not moving and you're getting pissed at it, you're just going to make me get pissed at you and your music, even if it was good music or even if I enjoyed it. Not to say that it wasn't good music, it just wasn't my thing, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. But like, just because I'm not like, I don't know, it did kind of turn me off on them a little bit. We'll still add them to the playlist if they're on Setlist FM. I haven't added these to our playlist yet, but I still need to go through. That's going to be like a whole day's effort of going through all these bands.
On Memorial Day, just sitting there like going through the list.
Yep. So I don't know. That's XCOM, whatever. I wasn't a fan. Jost and Friends, we saw them last year. It's fine. I like Jost and Friends.
I like Jost and Friends.
I like Josta a lot.
I like Josta and I like his performance. I like the energy, the happiness that he has during every single performance that we've ever seen. Even
when like there were a couple times he came out on stage and sung with other bands over the weekend. And even when he's doing that, he's got that fucking grin on his face the entire time. Just like the happiest little boy up there who just like opened the greatest Christmas present ever. This is sort of like the expression he has. And it just makes me happy as well to see that. Like, holy shit, he's actually enjoying what the fuck he's doing. I'm going to have a good time tonight too because he's having a good time type thing. And
I like, I mean, I love his music, but I also like with Milwaukee Metal Fest that one, every band thanks him for restarting it again. But also, Josta thanks all of us or all the fans that are coming and like restarting it because it's, he kind of put it together again or like got the rights to put it together again. But without us coming, he wouldn't be able to do that.
It's going to fail, so it's like whatever. So the reason it continues every year is because people show the fuck up to support this music.
And he also mentions Trevor. Last year he did.
Who's going to buy it with him?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Who is from...
Not buy it. They were going to work on it together. Black Dahlia Murders, I believe, right?
Black Dahlia Murders, yes. Sorry. I was like... He said it during Municipal Waste, so in my mind I had Municipal Waste, and I'm like, no, that's not it. And that was last year.
Yeah.
But then again today he said, thank you, Trevor, and thank you to all of you for coming.
Right.
So I like that because then it's not like Josta being like, I did this for you, so you got to be grateful. It's like acknowledging that even though he's the one that got the rights and, you know, probably puts a lot of work into this and has a huge crew to do it, you know, us coming also.
Yeah.
And also, Josta is now taking over Summer Slaughter. So...
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that sort of...
I don't know much about it either.
I know he's headlining this year. I don't know if, like, he's taking over from, like, a management ownership perspective.
I think so. I think from a management.
Or if it was just sort of like, you can headline it and you can sort of run it how you want to headline it this year. I
don't know about ownership, but I do believe that he's taking it on as, like, managing it. Like you're
sort of
an
advisory role type thing, possibly.
Potentially. Yeah. Sorry, I probably shouldn't talk on it because I don't know all the details.
Same, yeah.
But definitely taking it forward as, like, you're going to put this on sort of thing. So.
And again, like to me, that's a good thing because I show up to Milwaukee Metal Fest not knowing. I don't even really look at the fucking, like, lineup anymore. I just, like, Milwaukee Metal Fest, we're fucking going. Like, I know I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Knowing that sort of this is now being spearheaded, Summer Slaughter being spearheaded possibly by Jamey Josta. It's going to be like, all right, well, I know that this is going to be a great tour as well because he has a great fucking taste in music and puts on a great fucking show.
Yeah.
So even if he's not on there, his band's not on there, he's going to make sure the bands that are on there are going to put on a great fucking show.
Exactly. So.
And then last but not least, Flotsam and Jetsam.
I forgot. Even looking at the advertisement, like, I was missing Flotsam and Jetsam, I guess, like, when I looked at it. Like, I saw it there, but in my mind, I was like, oh, maybe that's just, like, the name of the pre-party or something.
Okay.
Like, not realizing that it was a band.
Yeah, I don't know who this band was before this. We showed up and listened to them. I fucking love them.
I figured you would.
It was an old school metal sound. Like these guys are fucking awesome. I had so much fun watching them.
Yeah, they were fun.
But yeah, they were fucking awesome.
Yeah, they had a great sound. And the crowd got into Josta, and I feel like the crowd was still going during Flotsam and Jetsam, if I remember right. I don't know. Sorry, that was like a week ago.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Yeah, but no, I think people were into them as well. Like, and I saw some Flotsam and Jetsam shirts.
Yeah.
So people obviously knew about them.
Yeah, I didn't.
Which would be kind of cool. Like, even if you don't go to Milwaukee Metal Fest, like, since you could buy tickets this year, I don't think in the past you could buy tickets to the pre-party. I think you had to have a pass for the weekend.
You know, I can't remember. I feel like you could last year.
Oh, okay.
The first year, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember.
Well, anyways, my whole comment on it is it's pretty cool. Like, say you want to see Flotsam and Jetsam, but you don't want to come for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
You could just buy a $30 ticket and show up and see them.
For sure.
So.
The other thing, real quick, that happened at the pre-party that we haven't really touched on, the last 2 years, they had offered sort of these bundle packaging things that you can get a bunch of, like, merch and shit with it, right? So we usually bought that mainly for the poster, and I think it came with early entry for you. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what they came with, but mainly poster and a bunch of other goodies and whatnot. So we bought those the previous years. This year, they didn't have that listed that you could buy ahead of time. They did have, like, the meet and greets that they had the previous years as well. And so whatever. We didn't know. In those packages also, you got sort of a lanyard that got you up into that top tier balcony in the main ballroom. So we weren't sure if we were going to be able to, how we got around this time, because there's no sort of communication around that, if it was just show your ticket and whatnot. So when we walk into the pre-party, there's a sign that says VIP check-in, and our tickets said VIP because it's the VIP general balcony and whatnot. So we're like, oh, let's go ask. So we go over, we talk to them, and they're like, oh, you know, I don't know how to work with this particular package. Let me go talk to Jamey, or let me go text him or something, and come back in like 20 minutes. Came back. Then they handed us sort of 2 bags of stuff, one for each one of us, because we had 2 tickets, which had the poster, a bunch of other stuff like a cup, a koozie, stickers, a carabiner thing, the lanyards, which were the main thing we wanted. And they also said, like, all right, this is all you have for tonight. Come back tomorrow and we'll get you the rest of it. The thing is, none of the tickets we bought said anything about getting, like, a VIP package deal with all this other shit. No email communication, no nothing around, you know, what we're going to get. And that was sort of one complaint we had last year for sure, was there was just a lot of unorganized chaos sort of around
And our bags were messed up from
Yeah.
what we were supposed to get. So we got two different levels of packaging, and yeah, it got all messed up.
So whatever, we got those for free. Not sure if we were supposed to get those or not.
I don't know, maybe.
But we didn't go back the next day to try to get one because we had the lanyard, which was the main thing to get up to the balcony and whatnot. So just wanted to call that out. That was one difference this year than there were the previous years of those like goodie bag type things that you could buy on top of everything.
It is kind of every year they're kind of doing it a little different. So, and I agree. Sometimes the communication around things is a little lackluster.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely it's definitely a negative, but not like a large negative. You know what I mean? Like it's something that could be improved next year in further years. Yeah. And I do feel like every year it is improving slightly. Certain things are like getting better and better and better every year, and nothing's gonna be perfect. And we'll talk about that at the end when we do our festival rankings.
Oh, I forgot about that. We haven't done that for a while.
We have not done that for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into day one. How do we want to do this?
So I guess I could just talk for a long time and read off all the bands, and then we could put a picture of it up. What do you want to do?
We'll definitely put a picture of the lineup on YouTube. Probably the one that's on the Instagram with sort of we'll just rip it straight from Instagram, but with like the times and stages and whatnot. But maybe just quickly run down sort of each stage.
Like who? Yeah, like I could do that.
Just list off all the bands that were there, basically.
So there were stage names. So there's 3 stages. The Rave has 4 stages, but downstairs is like the 4th stage is like where the meet and greet is, and there's merch and all that stuff. A bunch of merch and stuff, yeah. So they don't open that as a stage. So we have the bar stage, or what we call the bar stage, which is inside of the bar. And that is called Copycat Media, but we're always going to reference it as bar stage.
Yeah.
The second stage, which is the smaller stage on the second floor, is called Blue Grape Music Stage, but we're going to always call it second stage. The main stage, which is in the ballroom, is the Chimaira record stage, but we will always call it the main stage or the ballroom.
Or the ballroom, yeah.
So, and that's what we've always called it since year one.
Basically, yeah. And they were even named back then. I think the main stage was like the Not Fest.
Not Fest stage, yeah.
Stage and whatnot. Yeah. And I don't know. I can't remember all the stages, but the bar stage, the second stage are on that same level. There's like a little bar in between them as well.
Yeah.
And a little courtyard thingy. And then the ballroom up top. And the 4th stage that we've finally seen a show on all these stages.
Oh, we have, yep. We've seen
it's taken a while, but we finally.
Show, yep.
Except for the bar stage. Have we ever seen an actual show on the bar stage?
Ticketed show, but I guess I count Milwaukee Metal Fest.
I mean, I do
as
too,
show,
but I think that's the one stage now where we just need to go to the Rave and see a show.
Yeah, but we don't know when they're going to be on the bar stage.
We don't, which is kind of cool about the Rave. Yeah. How many tickets they sell is where it's going to be.
Yep, we learned that last year during our tour that they don't always list where the show's going to be because it depends on how many tickets they sell. Okay, starting on Friday with the bar stage, I'm going to start at the earliest time and go to the headliner for the bar stage. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So we have 656, The Lurking Corpses, Dusk, Nest, Gigan, I think it was Gigan, I think he said. No Mas, Bongzilla. Oh, I'm not going to be able to say this. Worm Rot. Thank you. I can't. W's and R's I can't do. And then the headline was Left to Die. Second stage started with Surefire, Avernus, Fugitive, Pentagram, Wolves in the Throne Room, Paradise Lost, and then headlined with Enslaved. The main stage started with Ruin Dweller, Bury My Demons, Legions of Doom, Rotting Christ, Suicide Silence, SOD Tribute, Chimaira, and headlined by Down. Sorry, that was a lot of talking.
Yeah. Going into it, Bongzilla we saw at the birthday party for Sound Growler.
Yeah, a few years ago.
I remember loving them back then. We saw this set as well. I had a great time there for that set. Paradise Lost. I like Paradise Lost. I've been super excited to see them live. Darker Thoughts is like my favorite song of theirs. I listen to it all the time. It's on my smoking playlist.
Did they play it?
They did not play it.
Oh, okay. Darn.
We'll talk a little bit about that here. Enslaved, they had a Record Store Day thing a while ago. We didn't get that. Our record store didn't have it. So we knew of them. Chimaira, of course. Fucking love Chimaira. Still didn't play my 2 songs that I want to hear. Down Again and Implements of Destruction. And then what else? Was that about it that I knew of?
Suicide Silence.
Suicide Silence. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't know who Down was. I was like, all right, whatever, we'll check that out.
I didn't either. The only thing I know about Down is there's a guy that's on the Headbanger boat who's like a huge Down friend.
Oh, really?
And like we're kind of friends on Facebook.
Okay.
Well, not kind of. I mean, like we added each other as friends on Facebook after the Metallica Detroit show.
Okay.
And he posts all the time about Down. And I'm like, who the fuck is Down?
Yeah, looking at their logo, I was like, this, and even the name of Down, I'm like, this is going to be like a doom band. This is going to be fucking awesome. Yeah. It wasn't.
No,
it was basically Pantera. It's a different version of Pantera, right? It's Phil's other band or one of his other bands.
Yeah.
So that was fine. Down was fine. I didn't mind their set. Like, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, right? It wasn't what I was expecting by any means.
I don't think that sound, like even the Pantera sound or like Down sound, that, I don't know, maybe it's the vocals or just the music that's played and everything, like, isn't necessarily my go-to, but it's enjoyable for live music.
So we were at the boat last year and we did a couple of those like conversations with XYZ, with, Randy and with Mark. I don't know why I said XYZ. Those were the two we did.
But they had other ones.
They did have others, yeah. And like one of the questions that kind of came up to Randy and to Mark was sort of like in the 90s when Pantera, or early 2000s, when Pantera split, people sort of looked to Lamb of God as sort of carrying the mantle of Pantera. And there's always been apparently a lot of, comparison between Pantera and Lamb of God. And honestly, I've never thought of Lamb of God in that way.
No.
I've never honestly even been like that big of a Pantera fan. They've got a handful of songs I really like Cemetery Gates. It's a fucking phenomenal song, right? I think Walk gets overplayed so fucking much.
Walk is right up there with like Ozzy songs where like everybody knows it. And I mean,
it's actually on the radio all the time growing up.
All the time,
so it's cool. I like it. I'm just sort of kind of over it, honestly, because it is overplayed. So I don't know. I've never really been a huge Pantera fan. I enjoy Pantera. I appreciate the skill and the talent and whatnot. But yeah, I've never really been like super deep into Pantera. So again, seeing Down come up there is like, oh, this is cool. I really enjoy this. It's a good sound, but it's not the doom I thought I was going to get. So I'm upset about that. Not upset, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, oh, I wasn't expecting this type thing.
I think it's not weird, but like, especially since we've been doing this for so long and we've seen so many shows, there's still these random bands like Down, which is like a huge band. And it's like, we don't know anything about them. Does that make sense?
It does. And I've been thinking about this a lot. Maybe we do like a 666 on this. But I was, I went through that phase after high school in college where I sort of got out of metal a little bit and sort of going down like the indie and folk sort of sound. And I think part of that is the community I was in at the time. Like in high school, I had a core group of friends and we were discovering metal and going through that journey ourselves. Like, hey, have you heard of this band? Have you listened to this band? No, let me check it out. That's awesome. They sound a lot like this. And like, that's sort of how we grew our understanding the metal that we enjoyed. Right. And after high school, that sort of community I was a part of sort of dissipated, and I haven't had that. And even now doing this, we do talk to people at shows, but like, we don't have like a core group of people that we're talking to every single day.
We don't have like a friend group that sees the same music or talks about the same music that we do. Even if we do meet up with friends, they're like, oh, you went to more concerts. And it's like, yep. But like, they don't know the bands that we know and all that stuff.
So the way we find out about these bands is going to shows like this, which is fun because there's so many of these bands I had no fucking clue about.
Yeah.
And Down definitely was one of them.
Yeah. That just always gets to me. Not gets to me, but I'm just like, I'm surprised that we haven't heard them, seen that, like anything like that. Like, also,
like, we listen to music on Spotify, which is on shuffle, which the algorithm is kind of fucking shitty.
Yeah.
It just surfaces the same fucking stuff over and over. It does.
I've even started listening to like the daily mixes or like, like this band's radio or something to kind of get out of that rut of listening to the same thing. But I think the algorithm is like, oh, you've listened to this, so you would like that, like, let's put that into your shuffle.
And even those for me are sort of repetitive a lot, right? Yeah. Like, you're not going to, you'll discover some new stuff, but you're not going to go deep in the rabbit hole or, down, not even that deep down the rabbit hole. Like, Down clearly isn't even that deep in the rabbit hole. So,
but even like this morning, I texted it to you, but like Machinery of Torment, which is from the Lords of Metal show on Netflix, came up on my Spotify on that daily mix, and I'm like, okay, like that's cool, I like it, but that's not a real band or real song. So Are you done with your highlights from Friday?
Well, no, that was down. Chimaira for me, cool set, fun set. Didn't play the 2 songs I wanted. Influence of Destruction, I know they're not going to play that. It's a 15-minute instrumental song, so like, yeah, they're not fucking playing that live. Suicide Silence, fucking awesome set. I had a blast during that. The biggest highlight, I think, for me, definitely, what was it called?
Rotting Christ.
Rotting Christ. I want to say like Rotting Corpse or Burning Corpse every time, but no, Rotting Christ. So fucking good.
Black metal band from Greece, I think.
Holy
if I remember right.
Fuck, they were good. That was the best set for me all day.
Like Rotting Christ, as soon as I heard them, I was like, oh, this is like the Behemoth sound. And like we love Behemoth as well. And it's just like that black metal, like where the vocals just come in with the music. And it's just such a good sound. I love it.
Paradise Lost, I was super excited for this. I almost fell asleep in the middle of their set.
Oh, did you really?
Not because it wasn't enjoyable, but I had been coming off of a cold for like a week or so, right? And it was the tail end of it. And this was sort of the story for me all weekend. I was just very fucking tired and drained physically for some reason. I don't know. It was very frustrating for me. That and the cold temperatures were like, this, like getting over the sickness and the cold temperatures were just sort of like pissing me off so much. But I remember we sat up in the balcony for this and on the second stage, and I was like, this is super fucking awesome. I'm enjoying this. And then it's over. And I was like, are you fucking, what? It's over? It's like 30 minutes. What the fuck? But I don't know. I wish it was longer.
Yeah.
You can't have everything. I'm glad we got to see them, but whatever. 656, I don't remember anything right now, but I do remember liking their set. They were the first band we saw on the bar stage.
I just remember being super happy and being like, Milwaukee Metal Fest is starting.
No Moss was one I don't think we saw, but I really wanted to just based on the name. Because it's like,
that's like your thing. Like,
Uno Mas.
Yeah.
For when I'm talking to friends with drinks and whatnot. And then, of course, Bonzilla was another highlight for me. They were a lot of fun as well. But yeah, that's about it for my highlights. What did you have for your highlights?
So, Surefire was fantastic. I believe they are from Milwaukee. They opened the second stage. I kind of saw some Lorna Shore in there a little bit, like from the performance standpoint. So I'm wondering, they were like kind of a rap metalcore type band.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you remember the rapping part?
I don't.
Oh, you don't remember them?
No.
Oh, okay. I really like them. I've actually listened to them since being home in the last week, and they're so good. Since they're from Milwaukee, I'm sure we'll see them again eventually at some point. Like you, Rotting Christ was phenomenal. I even on my notes, all I said was very good. Like, I just loved them so much. I have not listened to them since being home, but they're definitely going to be up there on my list.
And you did a pretty good job at going through all the bands we saw, right?
Yes, yeah. I at least listed them down, and early on in the day, I was like taking notes on like, oh, what was happening, what was the band like, all that stuff. So,
because that's one thing I did the last 2 years that I was actually pretty good at. Is in my little notebook, I would write down what bands we saw. I'd do like if we did a full set or whatnot. This year we didn't see that many full sets. We were bouncing around a lot more than I feel like we did the last couple of years. But as long as you wrote down what bands we saw, I'm going to just throw the entire set list up on our playlist if it's on Setlist FM.
Cool. Thanks for the disclaimer there.
I don't know, whatever. Continue your highlights for Friday.
Yeah, Friday wasn't like a huge date for me for like, oh my God, I can't believe this band's here. But seeing Suicide Silence again, I don't know if we've seen them. I don't think we have since like the Lamb of God show. I was trying to think about it.
I don't think we have. I think that Lamb of God show, which I was at a Baroness show last night, and I was talking to a guy, and he's like, how many times have you seen Baroness? Like, I think 2 or 3, 2 for sure, but I can't remember the third. During their set, I remember the third was at the Vic. I completely forgot about that show that I saw them. You were supposed to go. Oh. I think Corpse Pile was the other band that was there with them or something. I think, I can't remember what the band was. They were really good, though.
Yeah, that's weird.
Anywho's. But that was also the show we saw Baroness for the first time and made me fall in love with Baroness was with Suicide Silence.
Yeah. Which is why I didn't like Baroness, because following Suicide Silence, I'm like, these don't go together. I don't like this.
But I don't think we've seen them since then. And I remember really enjoying their set. And I really haven't listened to them since then, other than, I don't think we had a playlist back then.
No, we didn't. No, because that was like 2016?
2019.
2019,
I want to say. Yeah.
I don't know why I said 2016. That was
it
way too early.
Yeah, not that. But yeah, their set was fucking great, and their sound's great. I want to see them again.
Yeah, listening to them this time or seeing them this time, I realized, because I really, really liked them back in like 2019 when we saw them. And I was like, now I understand why I really like them, because their sound of music is like what I gravitate to every single day. Like when I listen to music when I'm working or whatever. So I'm like, but back then I wasn't really into much more than Disturbed in Linkin Park and some Lamb of God.
Yeah.
Kind of Lamb of God was like my heavy band. So like seeing them now again, I'm like, oh, that's exactly why I'm really into them.
Yeah, I had a blast during their set.
Paradise Lost I liked. I mean, you thought that I wouldn't like them that
Yeah, I
much.
didn't think you'd like that.
I don't know if I would go to like a Paradise Lost show and just like, I mean, I would go and just hang out and listen to it, but it's not like something like, oh my God, they're coming, I can't wait to see them sort of thing.
I mean,
But
yeah, to me they are, because they don't think they come here that often.
yeah,
So
which
like,
is fine.
when they come, it's like, all right, awesome, they're finally
Yeah.
fucking here. It's been 3 years, like Rammstein almost, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's been fucking forever since you've come back. Awesome, now we can finally go.
Yeah, but Rammstein's like, oh my God, I can't believe they're coming. Like, I can't wait to see them.
Sure, it's also
Yeah.
a different type of performance for
It is,
sure.
yeah. I wanted to see Chimaira, so I think I left Paradise Lost early.
No, we did not leave early,
Oh.
because you were there with me. Because I remember you being like, as soon as like, is it over? Are you for real? It's over? And
Yeah,
you like
I
looked it up
remember
and was
that.
like, yeah, no, they only played 30
Yeah.
minutes, 7:45 to 8:15.
Yeah, that's the sucky part about these festivals is, especially like Milwaukee Metal Fest, I feel like everybody only has like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's such short sets that I wish that maybe cut out a couple bands and have a little bit longer sets. I don't know. I don't know how to do that, because obviously we want all the bands, but I want longer sets as well.
Yeah, and this is, I think, one complaint a friend of mine had about festivals. He doesn't like festivals. He doesn't like going to festivals because of the shorter sets. Also, typically festivals are outside.
Yeah.
So this is really cool that it's inside. You actually get to see them in sort of that dark atmosphere instead of in the sunlight.
Except for the ballroom during the day,
Yeah,
it's
except
very
for
bright
that.
because there's windows all over. But second stage, yeah, it's dark.
Second stage and bar stage too, even.
Yeah.
So like that does address this, but also the short sets
Yeah.
is really weird. I think, which is why I like the Headbanger Boat so much, is everybody basically gets an hour set.
Yeah, or 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, outside of Lamb of God, who does their 2 headlining, gigs and whatnot, and they get an extended set also.
Yeah.
It's their boat. They're the headliners.
Yeah, but not that much more extended.
Not that much
Yeah.
more, maybe like half an hour. So they get like an hour and a half. Everybody else gets a full block hour that they can
Yeah.
play with.
But I think they all get 3 hours total because Lamb of God only does 2 sets.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about
So
that.
it's 3 hours
It does
total.
work out the same for
Yeah.
everyone then.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, like you as a band have 3 hours to play whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can, a lot of times they do the same sets, but there's a lot more time to play with, which is also really cool. Cause I mean, the Chimaira set also seemed kind of short to me.
Well, yeah, but we didn't see all of it.
No, we did.
Here?
Yeah, we went up because as soon as Paradise Lost got over, we went up just
But
before
Chimaira
it started.
just before it started?
Because they didn't take the stage till 8:20. So 8:15, then we went straight upstairs to see Chimaira, and we saw
okay.
all of Chimaira's set.
Okay. I guess I didn't realize that we walked in. I thought we walked in the middle of it.
No. We saw
Okay.
all of their set. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, like seeing Chimaira, I was just like, it brought me right back to the boat. I mean,
Yeah.
I do that a lot where I'm like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this band and like going back to like when we saw them before. So,
But yeah, I was just sort of riffing off your point of there's a lot of bands and you don't necessarily get that long of a set time, which is sort of a negative, but also it's a cool way to discover a new band, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as we did with Rotting Christ, I was going to say Rotting Corpse again. See,
you're gonna rename them.
Rotting Christ to me is your 200,000 stab wounds.
Yeah, yeah. Where like once you say it wrong the first time, then it's like
That's what it
it's
is
all
to
over
you,
the
yeah.
place. Yeah. Yeah, those are my highlights from the day though. I don't remember much more out of that from Friday. But Friday was kind of a downer day not downer day for me. I shouldn't say that, but there wasn't anything that was like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this band. Where the other
Outside
2
of
days,
Chimaira.
yeah, I was ready to see Chimaira, but it wasn't like, oh my God. But I did say, I mean, I remember telling you like, I want to go see Chimaira again. I think maybe that's more just, I don't know when we're going to see them again because they don't really
They
tour.
do not tour that often.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They do like one-off shows and stuff. But
They do the festival scene lately, but even that's like 1 or 2 festivals a year. I think they're doing...
that's just in the last couple of years.
It is. Last year's when they started, they came back and they did a handful. And this year they did a handful. I think they did like a reunion show back at their hometown and whatnot. But this year I know they're playing here, and I want to say Incarceration they're playing.
No, they did Incarceration last year.
Okay.
So I don't think they're doing it this year.
I'm pretty sure they're doing it this year. Huh, okay, well...
Karen was right. They're not playing this year.
Yeah, I was going to try to gloss over that fact and just...
Nope. Karen was right.
I think they're playing somewhere else.
No, they might be doing another festival, but not Incarceration. But last year they did do Incarceration. They were the only band that was announced at first for a really long time.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm getting confused. I don't know. It all blends together to me anymore.
It does. Okay, let's move on to Saturday. So Saturday was a kind of earlier day. Doors were at 1 o'clock, and then the band started at like 1:20 or 1:15.
Yeah, that's a good point. I completely forgot about that. Friday started at 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our doors were GA doors were at 2. No, they were at 1.
Doors are at 2, and they started playing at 2:30.
Okay, and then the VIP early entry got in an hour before GA doors. And then Saturday and Sunday doors were at 1, Saturday and Sunday GA doors were at 1 with the early entry getting in at noon. But also each day the first band taking the stage was weird as well. Like the first day was I think an hour after.
No, 30 minutes after.
30 minutes? Okay. And then it was 20 minutes after the second day.
And then an hour after.
Oh, no, it wasn't even 20 minutes. It was at the doors, wasn't it? 2 o'clock?
No, it's... So, okay, let me explain this because Brian's going way into it. Doors on Friday were at 2 o'clock, general admission. That's all I'm going to talk about. VIP and meet and greet, get in an hour early, blah, blah, blah.
For
that's
all
every
days,
day.
whatever.
Yes. On Friday, the first band went on at 2:30.
So half an hour after GA doors.
Yes.
After doors.
Saturday, the doors were at 1. The first band went on at 1:20.
So 20 minutes after.
Sunday, the doors were at 1. The first band went on at 2.
Right. So that's what I was trying to get to.
I know, but you were going way too far into it.
I had to get all the details out there.
You don't need all the details. Talk less.
Talk less. Fine.
Higher level.
Higher.
I was told that by my boss today.
Were you?
Yeah. That I go too deep into stuff and I need to stop explaining stuff and just do high level.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right.
Anyways.
I don't know. No consistency in when each band
No,
started.
yeah, it is kind of all over the place. And you never looked at the schedule.
I did not, no.
So
I was just going to bounce around from stage to stage to see what I got.
Yeah. Where I was more like, okay, I know these days, so Friday, the only band that I really, really wanted to see was Chimaira. I wanted to check out as many bands as possible, but Chimaira was the only one that I was set on.
I guess that's true because for me, Friday, it was
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost. Also, I haven't said this yet, but I am wearing the Headbangers boat vest again because year 2, because 3 bands were there, each band each day.
Yep.
Chimaira the first day, I Hate God the second day, and the third day was Exodus.
Frozen Soul.
Exodus was also there.
Yeah, but we didn't go to their set.
Anywho, why don't you read off the bands that we have? That's what we started out doing.
Yeah.
Maybe this will be 3 hours long.
I think it will. Yeah. Our whole high level thing's going out the door. Okay. Anyways, bar stage started with 1,000 Frames, Ghidorah, I think, Wraith, Brat, Snafu, of Sulfur, Renaissance, Evil Dead, I Hate God, and then Nekrogoblikon headline that stage.
Or the festival, depending on who you talk to.
That's true. They should have been on
We'll get into that.
They should have been on the main stage. Gosh, darn it.
No, we'll get into the joke here.
Oh, I thought you meant just because they're the big name.
No.
Okay. Second stage was Skin Crawl, Repentance, Gorgasm, Necrot, Tesseract, 3 Inches of Blood, Death Angel, and headlined by Exodus. Main stage started with Daylight Riot, Revocation, Macabre, Oppressor, Demolition Hammer, Between the Buried and Me, Devin Townsend, and headlined by Black Label Society. And fuck the whole no repeats, because Macabre has been there all 3 years, and they need to stop.
All right, so
Jamey always says no repeats.
we didn't talk about that during the pre-party. Josta did say that the festival was moving to June next year.
Potentially, I don't
on
know if
Father's Day.
I don't know if it was a joke or true.
I don't know if it was a joke or true either.
It was talking about when Scott Ian's son Revel was playing. It was like, oh, next year we'll do Father's Day and all the sons will come play.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was a joke or if it's true, but.
And it's something else. I think it was Testament. He wanted to come back.
Yeah, everybody
that
wants
was the thing.
Everybody wants Testament to come back.
You just want Testament every year. Is basically what he said. So he's like, so fuck the no repeat thing. And as soon as he said that, I was like, but last year had a couple of repeats. This year has repeats as well with Macabre as well as Repentance. They were there the first year.
Oh, they were, yes.
That's the first
Because that was the
time
first time
we
we
saw
saw
them.
them, even though we didn't realize it until we saw
Because we
Orbit
saw
Culture.
them again at someplace here in Chicago. I
Bottom
can't
Lounge
remember.
with Orbit Culture.
Okay, that's the show.
Yep.
And we were like, holy shit, I didn't know they're from Chicago. These guys are fucking awesome. We should see them again. And then we were going through our notes and like, holy shit, we have seen them before.
Yeah, because that's when you wrote everything down in your notebook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anywho, highlights for me. Definitely Nekrogoblikon is my highest highlight. I just recently discovered this band since the boat of last year when they were announced for this year's Headbangers boat. And I started listening to them because I wanted like at least learn some of their music, and I've fucking fallen in love with them since then. And I was like, I fucking want to see this band. So I skipped Exodus, didn't get to wear the vest for Exodus, so I need to see them live now outside the boat. But Nekrogoblikon was fucking awesome. That stage, the bar stage, was so fucking packed.
Yeah.
And
It's a very, very small stage. Like, I don't even know what the capacity in there would be, but.
yeah, I don't know. There's people lined out outside the doors trying to get in.
Yeah.
I don't remember a year in the past
I
where
guess
it's been
Unearthed
that
was
full.
that way.
Was it?
Yeah, we didn't see Unearthed in there. I don't know what we were watching, but year one was that way, where like everybody was in that like lobby area just to hear the music. Which was the same with I Hate God.
Yeah.
We went to see that and we couldn't even get in the doors. So
we went somewhere else. I can't remember what we did. Maybe Death Angel. We saw some of their
yeah, we
set.
did. Yeah, we went and sat in the oh no, yeah, we did. We went and sat in the balcony for the end of Death Angel. Yeah. And then we went and saw Fuck Devin.
So, and we'll get into that here in a second as well. But Nekrogoblikon, it was fucking packed in there. A nice little pit opened up. People were crowd surfing. And that's the thing, like this stage is like right up. There's no barrier. You crowd surf. And we saw this earlier. I want to say with Of Sulfur.
Yeah.
We saw this the first time we saw it, where people were crowd surfing. And they just throw you right up on stage, and then you crowd dive into the stage. Or not into the stage, into the crowd. Or crowd dive.
Yeah, stage dive into the crowd. English, Brian.
Yes. And then people just like sort of carry you around a little bit. Sometimes they'll drop you back down. Sometimes they'll just push you right back on stage. You have to jump down again. And I kind of felt like Nekrogoblikon was getting a little annoyed with a couple people, because there were some people who kept doing it over and over and over and over and over. And toward the end of the set, there was one time where they're like, the singer was like, he's back, talking about the kid who had just got on stage, jumped off, and then got pushed right back on stage. And the kid kind of did like this, like, I'm not trying to be back up here. I got pushed back up here type thing. And some people, though, were also like getting up there and sort of like hugging the singers and like headbanging with them a bit and whatnot, and then jumping off. I don't know. We've talked about, I'm not a big fan of people getting on stage in general. Like maybe I'm just too old, but that's, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. So when I see it, I'm kind of like, ugh, whatever. But whatever. It is what it is, I guess. But then the guy in the goblin costume was joking every now and then. That was one aspect. Like they had some good crowd banter where I can't remember at what point it was, but he's like, man, how awesome is it that Tesseract is here, Death Angel is here, and Devin Townsend are all here to open for us. And then like the other singer was like, yeah, but they played the other stages. And the goblin's like, yeah, but they're the smaller stages, right?
Yeah.
Like we're headlining this festival.
Yeah.
Like the whole like joke of like the goblin's just a dumb idiot type person.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it was a fucking hilarious. It was a great time in that stage.
To be honest, when we went to Rockfest, our friends were like, we're opening for Pantera.
Yeah.
Because they played earlier in the day.
And technically they did.
They did,
like,
technically. So, I mean, it's something to put on the list that they opened for Pantera.
Yeah, it was a blast. And Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, go.
I was just going to say, like, you brought it up during the vlog stuff we were doing that will, again, be put together here shortly, that to you, the bar stage, especially with that packed crowd and that energy in there, felt very much like, what's the stage?
Magnums.
Felt very much like the Magnum stage on the boat. Just like very condensed, very good energy, a lot of fun to be in there. I don't know. I agree. It was so much fucking fun. Of Sulfur, I was super excited to see them as well. I expected them to be sort of like a black metal band or something, but no, they were kind of like metalcore, deathcore.
Deathcore, yeah.
I actually really enjoyed them. Brat is another band that's going to be on this year's boat, and I have listened to them. I'm not the biggest fan of Brat's music. I thought you would be really into their music. And what did you think of Brat?
I didn't like it. It was not good. I understand what they're doing, where they're like making fun of pop singers and stuff, but no, not for me.
So I'm not the biggest fan of their music. Their performance, though, I thought was fucking hilarious and awesome. I did love the poppy intro songs that then just cut hard into the hard, their track. So seeing it from the live aspect is so much more fun to me than listening to it. So that's one now I'm super excited for. We did miss Wraith. We were somewhere else. That was one that we would want to see pretty badly, I think.
Yeah, no, they were on the list. We went to see Repentance, and then I think we went up to see Revocation because I didn't look at the set list to see that Wraith was on the bar stage. So,
and then I guess going down that list, then Repentance was super awesome. I had a lot of fun with them. Tesseract was really good.
Oh, they were, yeah. And we were on a family trip in Orlando, and Tesseract and Devin Townsend were at the House of Blues at Disney Springs, and it's a venue I want to see a show at so bad. And we talked about before, like a couple months before going, like buying tickets, and then I'm like, nope, we're there for a family trip. We're not there for music. And seeing Tesseract, though, I was like, that would have been fantastic. Yeah, we should have went. And then we could have left before Devin and went and spent time with family.
We'll get into that here in a second. But no, Tesseract for me, the progressive metal aspect of it was so much fucking fun.
It was so good.
I had a great time with them. Yeah. Macabre, I really enjoyed Macabre. I like Macabre a lot. You don't.
No.
I don't know why, but it's so much fun.
I don't know. The first year, were they on the bar? No, they were on the second stage the first year.
And last year as well,
last year I think they headlined the bar stage.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Because they were packed for the second stage that year one.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
If I remember the schedule right, they headlined. Which I could be wrong on that. They could have been earlier, but I'm pretty sure they headlined the bar stage. It's just not my thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
And I get it. I mean, I get what they're doing. It's kind of, I guess it's kind of like a Gwar thing, except for it's like horror movie. Like
it's Ice Nine Kills, but a lot fucking heavier than Ice Nine Kills. Because Ice Nine Kills is all about the horror movies.
Yeah, and it's kind of poppy.
They're like, these are actual serial killers, and this is a song about that killer.
Yeah.
And like, what was it? Jeffrey Dahmer, like 2 minute, rub-a-dub-dub, 2 minute in a tub, I think was one of the songs.
Yeah.
Just a great fucking song name, honestly.
And I get it. I'm not too much into those gimmicky things, but.
Yeah, and it's fun. I enjoy it. Death Angel, as you said, we stopped and saw some of them. They were fun. I don't honestly remember seeing them before. I remember seeing them, but I don't remember seeing them.
We saw them here in Chicago.
Yeah.
At like the Riviera, I think.
No, I think the Vic.
Oh, was it the Vic? Okay.
One of the,
whatever. They're almost the same to me.
They are, yeah. BT Band, Between the Buried and Me, another great fucking set. I love those guys.
Yeah, you think that you might have took a nap during that set, though?
I think I may have fallen asleep for a couple songs, yes. Because I think I like jerked myself awake, and because we were in the upstairs balcony thing, right? And there were 2 people next to us as well, and the other 2 seats, so there's 8 seats there. Again, going into the weeds, we don't need to do that. And I like shook myself awake, and like, all right, I'm gonna go to the ground. And I just stood up and went right back because I was like, I can't sit here anymore. I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah.
Black Label Society. I like Black Label Society. No filler, just play music because we have a short set. Get on, get off type thing. Devin Townsend, real quick. We've brought this up a bunch. We saw them with his acoustic set.
Yeah, with Avatar.
And we both fucking hated it.
It was horrible.
There was one person who kept yelling, like, you fucking suck, get off the stage.
Get off the fucking stage.
And like,
we did not do that.
Yeah.
I fucking hated it, and I couldn't wait for it to be over, but I'm not going to scream at the stage to be like, you suck.
Yeah, because I mean, right in front of us, or 3 people in front of us, were people who were deep fucking fans, and they're like, this is the greatest show of their life type thing, right? Like, you don't know, like, you don't like it, cool, shut the fuck up and let other people who do enjoy it enjoy it.
Yeah.
So we were both going to go into this sort of with an open mindset of let's give Devin a second chance. I don't feel like you went in with a completely open mindset.
I did.
Because you were still like in this fuck him, he sucks type mentality or attitude.
I went into it with an open mindset. But
he still sucks?
I don't want to say that he sucks. It wasn't as bad as the acoustic set. I understand now the acoustic set and what was going on and everything, but it's not my thing. And I don't think he's as great as everybody seems that he is. That's my own personal opinion.
Okay, yeah. I thought the set was fucking phenomenal. I loved it. It's, again, in that progressive metal aspect of things that I'm really, really into and really like, as well as some doom aspects and whatnot there. So I got turned around super hard on this because, like, yeah, the acoustic set I did not like. I do not see the correlation. I also don't remember the acoustic set that much. Like, I don't see the connection between that and this. This was so much better for me just to see this, and I was happy we got to see this for sure. Okay.
Fuck Devin. I'm still on that camp.
No, you can't. Fuck. Like, I went in with an open mind, but fuck him.
No, it's still. I just don't like. I don't know. I'm not into it, and.
But you're still on like fuck you.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, it's not.
How's it not fine? I can have my own opinion.
Sure, but I don't know.
I'm not going to a Devin Townsend show if he ever tours again.
Fine, I'll be there all alone.
That's fine. You can go with Baroness too.
Yeah, and you can go to your stupid ass metalcore shows.
I told you the other night that I would go to a metalcore show if you didn't want to.
Fuck metalcore. Fine, there, you can say fuck. You can say fuck Devin, and I can say fuck metalcore.
That's fine.
There, fine.
We don't have to like the same thing.
We don't, but like you should like good music and not shit music. I do
like good music.
Anywho, what were your highlights for Saturday? Fuck Devin.
Devin was gonna be my nap time, honestly. I was like,
so you didn't go in with an open mindset.
I was like, I'll just go and sit and like listen to the music. I did not take a nap. I listened. I gave him a chance for 3 songs, like I always do. And then I was like, okay, I'm over this. It's fine.
All right. What else?
Seeing Repentance was awesome. I was ready for that all week. I was listening to Repent. I was just like, I was ready to see them play again. Reborn. I don't know. I like that song so much, but seeing them.
And you got a pick.
I did get a pick. Yes, you're right. It's still in my wallet, so I need to remember to take that out so I don't lose it. Brat, we did go see a few songs, and like I said, just not my thing. I don't know.
Try listening to the music, not like listen to it on Spotify, the music, and see if you're into it. Because I'm not into that at all.
Okay.
But you might really be into the music just itself and not the show aspect. Where I'm not into the music, but I'm really into the show aspect.
Yeah. I think part of it is her coming. I mean, I understand she's like making fun of pop stars, but just like how she comes out and how she dances and stuff. I'm like, oh, I don't like this.
It is very poppy and sort of Valley Girl-esque, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. And even like seeing like the image, I don't know. It is a weird vibe, and I think that's why I like it so much, is because it's so fucking weird. But I think it works so perfect from a live aspect. Again, the music, not my thing. But I think you'll really, really like the music.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll listen to it before the boat to kind of get a second. And I'll go in with a second mind, or a new mind, or whatever you want to say.
Where you can nap during the set.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. There's chairs. I can nap.
Yeah. That's
I've done it during violence on the boat. I can do it during Brad.
Having an open mind.
Then Sulfur was my highlight. Like, I feel like every year there's like a band that's like, I have to see them. And Sulfur was my band that day that I had to see them. Like, I was checking the time all the time. I was like, I need to make sure I'm in the bar stage. Like, I want to see them so bad.
And you've known about them for a while, right?
Oh yeah, I've listened to them for a few years. Yeah.
See, and I had no clue. I just saw like the OV, and I thought I was like, holy shit, this is like black metal.
Yeah, you said black metal. I'm like, they're not black metal. They're like deathcore. But I was like, you can go check them out though.
I didn't. I really liked it.
So since seeing them, I've actually listened to them every single day since Milwaukee Metal Fest. And a lot of their lyrics could go towards like a black metal themed lyrics.
Just tone it like,
but with
slow
deathcore.
It down, get it more droney and whatnot.
Yeah, but it's deathcore. So
yeah.
But I mean, my favorite song is like Earthen, which is like, what kind of God would test a child? Like that's part of the lyrics. So, and during that song, I don't know. I haven't had this moment for so long with music because we see a lot of shows. But like during that song, I just had this moment of like, I can't believe I'm seeing this band right now, and like almost like emotional moments.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Like,
okay.
It was kind of, I mean, I don't know. Like we just don't really have that anymore because it's like,
it does.
What's the next show we're going to?
Take a very special moment to have that for sure.
Yeah, and we used to all the time. Like, I mean, I remember seeing Avatar during Bloody Angel. I would just be like, it was like that type of moment. And now it's, you know, it I don't know. We're always like, next show. What's the next thing, sort of thing.
Or for their set, we were pretty close to the stage.
We were. Right? So we were like 2 back, basically. We were 3 back, but there was a person there with crutches, and they kind of stood off to the side after the the crowd opened up like crazy.
And you were dealing with like foot issues.
I was.
Still.
So, yeah. Luckily this week it's been better, but for the last few weeks I've had some really bad issues where I can't put pressure on my foot. And Saturday, for some reason, I didn't take ibuprofen, and it was really, really hurting. And you even said like, "Oh, we can go get water." I'm like, "No, I am staying here. I am watching this show." So you had No,
I was just saying, and I think this is the first time we saw the crowd surfer like get on stage and jump off.
Yes, yeah. So you had alluded to that, like there was crowd surfing and all that stuff. So like you said during Nekrogoblikon, like basically you crowd surf up and then you're on the stage. And that was the first time I had seen, like, I remember it was like some woman was up there crowd surfing, and then all of a sudden you could just see in Ricky's face as he's singing, like, holy shit, I need to help, and like, you know, help bring her down, sort of thing. Which that didn't happen all the time that we saw a crowd, because even on Sunday, like, we were in there again and there was crowd surfers. So not every single time did they like help or whatever, but he did catch quite a few people while still singing. Like, he did not miss a beat, and he was catching people. Yeah,
because again, that's what security is there for also, right? When you crowd surf, not their job, but that's what they do. Like, they do catch people and whatnot. But yeah, I did notice that too, where he's like catching people and helping them up and whatnot. Yeah.
Which was really cool to see. And I was kind of the same way. I'm right there on with you, where I'm like, don't fucking get on stage. Don't stage dive. Because it's like, I mean, we definitely, after reading like Randy's book and Randy Blythe's book from Lamb of God, and watching As the Palace Burns. Is that the documentary?
Is it?
And just kind of knowing what happened with Dimebag and people getting on stage and like all that stuff. It's just like, fucking don't.
Yeah,
So, but obviously, I mean, we've been to more hardcore shows last year, and people were doing it, and like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, it's definitely like in that scene for sure. That's what you do and whatnot. Yeah. So I don't know.
And I understand like the music of all Sulfur, and like having people wanting to have that movement, having that, you know, like the crowd surfing. He was calling for stage divers, like all that stuff. So, I mean.
And it does change it too. If the band is like being more receptive to it.
Yeah.
But if the band's like, we're done, nobody else, please. And then you get on stage and it's like, fuck, dude, get the fuck off.
Yeah. But this was my first experience, or both of our first experience of stage divers being in the front.
Yeah.
So, because I think one kid like jumped off the stage and like pretty much everybody caught him, but like I think his arm or he kicked me. I don't know what happened, but right across the nose. And I was just like, I don't want to be punched in the face ever again, because that hurt, and that wasn't even a punch.
Yeah, and another thing that I noticed during this set as well, and not even this set, it was before, I think. I can't remember exactly where, but it was in the bar stage where, you know, sometimes there's balloons or beach balls that are getting bounced around and whatnot. Oh, yeah,
that was on Friday.
This time there was a bunch of weird fucking shit getting thrown around. Like pool circle things that you like pool raft, or like the lazy river type rafts, the rings, little ones of those were getting blown up and thrown all over the place. Still had the balloons being popped, like thrown around and whatnot. We were in there, I can't remember what show it was or what set it was, but somebody was bouncing the balloons around, and one woman was catching them all and popping them as they came to her because she didn't want them to touch her or something. I don't know.
Maybe she's just a fucking buzzkill.
Maybe, or maybe it's like, I don't like balloons, like just like you with the
yeah. But we had this. Yeah, I understand where you're going with that, but I had the conversation where it's like, I don't like things scratching. I don't like whatever that sound is, but
like those 3D, like as you change them.
Yeah, like our agendas in like middle school would have them and stuff. Hated it. But I wouldn't, like, if somebody was doing that, I would have removed myself from the situation instead of taking away everybody's fun.
Yeah.
So
I love balloons being thrown around and beach balls and whatnot. I try to hit them. I love hitting them. Like, it's my favorite, not my favorite thing, but
you want to touch it.
I just want to hit it. Yeah. And I remember during this set, did that. And
right into a guy's face.
And like slapped somebody in the face or something.
Well, no, I hit the ball right into his face.
Oh.
I didn't slap him in the face. It was like I went to like this to hit it. I went like that to hit it, and it just went like straight into his face.
I see. Okay.
I didn't hit him in the face.
I didn't see it happen. I saw you like apologize profusely to him. I assumed you went to hit it and missed and like slapped him in the cheek. So then when we were leaving, you're like, I got kicked in the face. And I was like, no, you hit somebody in the face. No. You didn't get kicked.
No, yeah, I got kicked in the face.
Okay, now, all right. Now I'm on. All right.
Okay.
So not as bad.
Yeah. Which happened to me also in Dublin when we saw the Evil show, because it was almost the same where there was no rail or anything. So people were crowd surfing, but they just crowd surfed them around the entire room.
Yeah.
And that, like, they didn't get on the stage or anything, but they crowd surfed them in the entire room. And that happened to me. Like, I think you went to get a drink or something. And like,
I don't remember that.
And I got kicked in the face then too. But
yeah, Dublin was weird because they'd also like run into you in, like, you're on the wall of the pit and they'd run into you and then they'd stop and apologize for.
I got apologized to so many times. I'm like, dude, like,
you're in the pit. I'm on the wall. If I don't want to be here,
right, I'll move.
I'll remove myself from the situation.
And they would kindly take their glasses and hand them across the crowd to the table.
Yep.
And
different group,
different vibe altogether. But all of Sulfur, highlight for me for the entire weekend. I know even on Sunday we had some great shows, but that was like the one band that I was like, I'm so happy that I saw them. Yeah.
So you mentioned Sunday. Do you want to get into Sunday, or do you have other?
No, I still have bands.
All right, do your bands.
I'm only at the middle of the day.
Tesseract.
I Hate God we couldn't get into, unfortunately. Tesseract I loved. I wish we would have went to the Orlando show to see more than 30 minutes. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. BT Bam, I don't know. I go back and forth because the first time we saw BT Bam, I was like, I didn't like them. Then the second time we saw them, I was like, they're not that bad. And then seeing them here, though, I'm like, I don't like them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's in with too heavy a music for them. I don't know.
I'm trying to think that second time. Didn't they have a pretty heavy band for...
I don't remember the openers for them.
There was only one opener.
Oh, was it? It was here. I don't know where at, though. Oh, right there.
The Acacia
Strain. Fuck.
Yeah, it was with the Acacia Strain.
Oh my God, and I fucking love Acacia Strain.
Yeah, so that's super fucking heavy, and then you go to BT Bam. But I think you were just in a different mindset.
Maybe.
Of like, I know this is going to be progressive and whatnot. And like, again, this is in the middle of Saturday, so maybe a little tired and just being like, I don't need this vibe right now. I need higher energy. Right.
And we decided to go up to the balcony and sit during it. But yeah, I just wasn't too into it. I mean, I don't know.
I know, I get that, especially with being in that time slot for sure. And the energy level. I fucking loved it. It's progressive metal. I'm a huge fan of that shit. So I'm glad they were on here for sure. Yeah. But I get where you're coming from for sure.
Yeah. Black Label was another highlight. I don't know. We were not close to stage, but we were kind of on stage right, like kind of close. And that's where like Zach came out and played on the amps or something on the...
That's surprising to me that you found that as a highlight, because I'm pretty sure you said that you don't like Black Label or Zach Wild that much.
Okay. A couple things.
All right.
Okay. So Black Label, there's a few songs that I like, but they all sound the same to me.
Okay,
I don't know if there's not much between it, and they don't play the songs that I
Very
like.
guitar heavy.
Very guitar heavy. The thing with Zach Wild that I'm not the biggest fan of, and maybe it's the same thing as like a Devin Townsend thing, where it's like, I'm going to show off for you. Like, I don't know. And don't take it that way. I saw you roll your eyes, but it's like when we saw... What was it? Zach Sabbath? The show on like New Year's Eve or something. And it's just so so guitar heavy. And maybe that's the thing, is it's so guitar heavy. And then it goes on, like at Zach Sabbath, he goes and like plays on the bar, and I'm like, okay, cool, like you're playing on the bar. But in my mind, that's just not that enjoyable.
Okay, and this is definitely a difference between you and I, and we've talked about this before, where I am more instrumental focused. Yeah. I do like the lyrics, but they're not the thing I gravitate towards first. It's something that takes a long time for me to gravitate towards and even learn, where you're opposite. You're very lyric focused first, and then the music. A little bit the music, but mostly the lyrics for you, I think.
Yeah.
So I love the guitar solos. I love the heavy guitar bits, and just really any instrumental bit. So I love that shit, which, again, why I like the progressive metal aspect of stuff, for sure.
Which is, I mean, it's fine. Like, my whole thing with Black Label Society was more like our position, because we have seen them before, like at the Radius, and I think we saw them a long time ago.
I saw them a long time ago. I don't think
I didn't go.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember at the Radius, and we were like way in the back at the Radius. Yeah. And so, but here, I don't know. I like being close to the stage a lot. So.
No, I was just saying, like, that was a shock. I expected you not to like that, because I knew you weren't. And I know it's a heavy guitar focused band and instrumental band, and you aren't into that.
Yeah. And I only listen to like 3 songs of Black Label Society if I do. And normally it's when you're listening to them, but.
Yeah, Stillborn. That's the only one that comes up on fucking Spotify.
I know it is.
Constantly.
Like, it hasn't came up on my Spotify for so long. Probably because I listen to a lot of deathcore and stuff.
Gotten to the point when it comes on now, I skip it because I'm fucking tired of hearing that song all the goddamn time on Spotify.
So for Saturday, though, my comment is I don't feel like we saw that many bands on Saturday. Like, I mean, we saw quite a few bands, but we were seeing full sets of bands, I guess.
Maybe. I don't know.
I just don't feel like we had the number like we did on Friday and Sunday.
I don't know. You took the numbers down, so we'll have to have you take a look. Yeah. But I remember seeing a lot of bands. I remember just constantly seeing music bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that you were doing Friday that irritated me a little bit, because we go in to see 656, I think was that first band, right? Mm-hmm. And like their set's not even open. They play like 2 songs, 3 songs, and you tap me. He's like, all right, let's go up to the main stage. It's starting. I was like, but this is still going on. Why are we leaving?
Because I wanted to see as much music as possible.
And you were seeing music by staying to this, but you wanted to see the number of bands.
Yeah. Well, not number of bands. It wasn't like a number of band thing. I wanted to see different music all day long.
Yeah, and so that was a little frustrating to me. Is like we would go here for 2 songs, go over to this stage for 2, then go over to this stage. Where I'm more of like, I want to go to a stage, see till the end of their set, and then just wander to the next stage. Because one of the stages is going to have music, because that's the way this is set up, where there will be music all day, just all day
long. Yeah.
So when you're done with the stage, just wander to your next stage and go.
Next year, then I'll just wander all over the place, and you can stay for sets.
Which is kind of what we did on Sunday. Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
So let's go over the bands, I guess.
On the bar stage, started with Deep Within, Break Time, Gates to Hell, Jarhead, Fertilizer, Toxic Holocaust, Deceased, End, Full of Hell, and headlined by the Acacia Strain. Second stage was Tracheotomy, Maul, Speed, Harm's Way, Amigo the Devil, Scour, headlined by the Dillinger Escape Plan. And the main stage started with Under the Horizon, Honey Trap, Exhorter, Morbid Saint, Frozen Soul, Trouble, Arch Enemy, and headlined by Gwar. And there doesn't seem that many bands on Sunday, but they do end an hour earlier, and it starts an hour later.
Half an hour later.
Okay.
Because like this is the one that started an hour after doors.
Yeah.
So Sunday blew by.
It did. It felt so
like it was
fast.
like it started and then it was done.
Yeah.
And then Sunday is when I started to wake up and not feel as drained.
Yeah.
So by the end of it, I was like, fuck, for real, it's over? I'm just now getting my groove. Like, I'm ready to go.
I remember texting my aunt and cousin at the beginning of Sunday, and I'm like, I am so sad this is the last day. Like, you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that Milwaukee Metal Fest is one of the things we look forward to. And I had looked forward to this for so long, and then it seemed like it went by like that. Like, it was just so quick.
Yeah. Sunday, it went by super quick. Sunday for sure was like the quickest. Why don't you start with your highlights, since I've done the last
that's fine.
2 days of highlights first.
One, I have a comment on Tracheotomy. How like, you need to pick a band name that people can fucking spell. Because I tried to type that in so many times and I couldn't figure out how to type it in.
I don't know about that.
Well, because you can't spell anything.
Well, right. So like I can't spell any of it. So I'm fine with the name tracheotomy. I know what the word is. So I can just type into Google pin in throat. Like that's what you do, right? You got to shove that pin in the throat to like get the blood out and whatnot, or get the airflow. So I have ways to find it.
Starting with Deep Within, they opened the bar stage. At the same time was Under the Horizon on the main stage. From the amount of people that were at the bar stage when we first went on Saturday, I said, let's go to the bar stage so that they have support. However, the bar stage was kind of not full. It wasn't packed.
Okay.
But there was a lot of people in there. So we could have probably went to the main stage. However, Deep Within actually was there all weekend in their uniform. How would you say that? Costume uniform.
So yeah, they have sort of
paint.
like this corpse paint type thing, but it's not corpse paint.
It's not really corpse paint.
The lead singer has a top hat.
And then one of them is like a punky guy with like a flipped up baseball hat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so I remember seeing them on Friday, and I honestly thought that they probably played like the bar stage on Friday. I was like, I don't know who these guys are, but I'm sure that they played on Friday. I don't remember seeing them Saturday, to be honest.
I saw them Saturday.
You saw them Saturday. Okay.
I saw them walking down. It was after 6 o'clock, right? So they're walking in, and they're going down to the main entrance, and they're outside of we're in the parking lot area with the food court and whatnot, and they're walking down, and they're going to get into the venue and whatnot. I think I saw them like talk to the security guy, and he's like, "No, the door's down that way."
Oh, okay.
So I thought they were fans. I thought they were just here for the festival.
Okay.
And then we were upstairs, I think, for the start of not Zach Sabbath, Black Label Society, and I think they're like right on the edge of the pit.
Oh, okay.
And I remember seeing them both in the pit and both walk in. I'm like, who the fuck are you guys here to see? Like, I don't think there's any more black metal, death metal tonight. Like, I think that was all earlier today. Did you come earlier and you're just still dressed up for that? That's some fucking commitment. That's awesome. Like, also, I don't think I've seen people show up to Milwaukee Metal Fest before in corpse paint. So this is cool. Good for you guys. Not realizing they were in a band.
Yeah. And they played Sunday. I mean, but they were dressed like that all weekend.
Yeah, because they did say, like, we've been here all week and hanging out. It's been cool to see you guys in the pits and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck, that's right. You guys were here.
Yeah. I like that because I like you kind of got what they said, but I remember it being like, we're not only fans, we're also playing or what, like
something like that. Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, that's right. Like, all these bands are probably fans as well. And so, I mean, we were walking around on Sunday, and the bassist for Frozen Soul was just watching, I don't know what band, maybe Mall. Maybe that was when we went and saw Mall as well.
About right,
Yeah, so, I don't know. It's just kind of cool because it's kind of like the boat where you just see people walking around.
And it's been that way every year where you just walk around, you see people from other bands just hanging out, watching shows.
Yeah.
And like, this was the first festival, the first year at Milwaukee Metal Fest, the first reboot of Milwaukee Metal Fest, that we saw this and also saw bands just sort of hanging out in the crowd, watching music. And like, sure enough, they are fans. Like, they're in the music industry because they like making music. They like listening to music. So I don't know, it made me happy to see people around. And it's been that way every fucking year where the bands are in the crowd hanging out.
Yeah. We went to see Gates of Hell. That was a band that I was like, I absolutely want to see. I remember I think we saw them with Hatebreed on their 30th anniversary tour.
Okay, yeah.
I remember liking them a little bit better then. Okay. I don't know what it was, but I don't think we stayed for the whole thing. I think we left because I remember going to see Exhorter, so we must have left a little bit. I went to see Exhorter.
I remember that. We were in there for a bit, and I was done. So I was like, I'm done. I want to go out and leave. Yeah. And I think I went out to the patio because I was hot and I wanted to cool off. Yeah. So I went out to what I call the patio. It's where the food trucks are and everything.
Like the beer garden.
The beer garden thing, yeah. And I hung out there for a bit, and then I think you went and did your own thing. So here's the part of the day where I think we split up. We did,
yeah. That is one thing about the bar stage, though, is there is air conditioning in there. However, if you're closer to the bar side, it's not very cool, or like in the pit area, like around the stage. If you're on like stage right, like on the side of the stage, you can feel the air conditioning over there. But
was it air conditioning or was it from the doors being open?
Oh, it might have been from the doors being open because it was like 50 degrees. Because
that's one thing. Like the Rave, we've sort of alluded to this, has new air conditioning in there, which they haven't had in past years. So I think they had it on Friday, but they may have turned it off Saturday and Sunday because it was so cold.
No, maybe in the bar they did, but I remember being like, I would wear my sweater in like the main stage area because I thought it was cold. I thought it was actually chilly. But then again, we're not in the middle of the pit or, anything like that. So.
Yeah, I had my sweater on all weekend long, which again, I was a little fucking frustrated with the weather. And I'm just getting old and bitch about the weather, so.
You are. You haven't talked to some young kid that we talked to about the weather, and he's just like, yeah. Like, I'm not talking about this.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Between Exhorter and Morbid Saint, though, I actually talked to somebody who watches us, Micah, so... Hi, Micah, if you're listening to this. I'm sure he'll watch the vlog because he said that he really likes the vlog. So that was a really good conversation. It was fantastic. So, and he was really excited to see Morbid Saint. So I did see a little bit of Morbid Saint, but I like walked out to find you because I think you were in the bar stage for Jarhead Fertilizer, if I remember right.
Something like that. I was trying to get a video, not a video, like a shot for. It's a shot I've been trying to work on for the vlog every year I've gone, and it's never worked. So I did a new attempt this year. I don't think it's going to work, but it's down the right path. So maybe next year I'll finally get that shot that I want. And I think then you came and met me there in the bar stage. I did not get a chance to talk to Micah. That would have been really cool.
Yeah. And I didn't see him rest of the time we were there. So we must have just been like missing paths or whatever.
Yeah.
So, then obviously we went and saw Frozen Soul. One of the highlights we love Frozen Soul. We've seen them so many times. Yeah. It went so fast though. I mean, I know it's like less than 30 minutes, but it was so fast. And that's when I think it was, Sulfur and Frozen Soul was when I was really like, I wish they had like an hour because Sulfur was only up there for like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, they were very short. Yeah.
Sorry, now I feel like I'm just going and then, but we stopped in for Amigo the Devil at the very end. I wish we would have seen this whole set. I would not miss Frozen Soul for it. But it's just a guy up there. He had a banjo and a guitar.
It was so fucking weird.
Comedian singing sort of thing.
Yeah, it was fucking weird. Because I
liked it so much. We
walked in and it's just this one guy up there playing. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. And he's got a banjo. And we just missed the song because he switched over the banjo for an acoustic guitar. Yeah. And he played that. And then he goes to get another banjo. He's like, well, I only have time for one more. And he did like a really quick short one. It's like, yes, I have time for one more. And then, but at some point there, he's like trying to get the banjo and it's not like working or something, or it's not tuned right. So then he has his tech come back out and switch out banjos. And he's like, if there's one thing you take away, it's that he has two banjos. And I was like, this is awesome. And I enjoyed the music a lot. I was like, why are you on the second stage?
I know.
It's not that packed in here.
Bar stage.
This could have been a bar stage, but it was packed enough, and all the people that were in there were singing the music.
Yeah.
And like very loud too. Yeah. So I was like, clearly these motherfuckers know you and they know your music.
Yeah.
I also really loved Amigo the Devil. That I was like, fuck, I wish we would have seen more of this.
I know. But like I said, I would not have missed Frozen Soul to see him. But that's a name that I would look for again around the area because
for sure.
That'd be so much fun to go see. Then we saw Arch Enemy again. We just saw Arch Enemy a couple weeks ago. I didn't stay for the whole thing because with how the bar stage has been with people being packed in there, I wanted to go see the Acacia Strain. It was one of the highlights. It was like, I need to see this band. I only wanted to see Beast or them play Beast, and I didn't even know if they would because honestly, we just looked up that BTBM, Acacia Strain opened for BTBM. That's probably when I found out about them. But I didn't put those two together. I don't remember that set at all.
Yeah, I can't remember if they did a complete album because the thing with BT Bam, that Colors tour, is they did Colors 1, Colors 2 as a 2-night event. I kind of sort of feel like Acacia Strain also played. And we did a whole episode on this, so we could go back and listen to it.
I should actually and see what my thoughts were on Acacia Strain because the Beast song is one of my pump up for work songs. I don't know, but I need a lot of that lately, I think. But I wanted to be in there, so we left Arch Enemy early and we just kind of stood in the bar for maybe 45 minutes.
30 to 40 minutes, somewhere in there.
But we started talking to somebody about battle vests and stuff, and the time went by pretty quickly. So it was really cool. But yeah, seeing Acacia Strain, I wish again next year my foot's not going to be all fucked up because I feel like I wanted to be a little bit closer. But we did kind of stand back a little bit. And I was going to go to Acacia Strain by myself, and then you came with me.
I was like, I'll go check this out.
To be honest, I'm glad I didn't go by myself because I probably would have stood where we stood of Sulfur.
Okay.
And there was a lot more stage diving during Acacia Strain.
And crowd surfing, yeah.
And crowd surfing than...
And Josta came out and played with them as well.
Yep,
And like
yep.
that got the crowd energized pretty heavily.
Yep. So very, very fun. I want to see them again. So bad.
And like the singer from Mall also came out, who was on like, he also like came out for like 4 other bands across the day or something.
He came out all day. Yeah. He came out all the time. So, because he came out during Frozen Soul as well.
Yes, he did. Yep.
And then we went and saw Gwar, which is Gwar.
But you had a different take on Gwar when we were coming home, right? Or coming back to the hotel.
What did I say? I can't remember what I said.
Like, I kind of understand it now.
And you explained it, like, after the boat, like, they're just fucking around, like, not giving a shit. And it's all, like, I don't want to say anti-political, but it's kind of like, I mean, they basically kill all the politicians, like, all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know the backstory. I think I kind of remember the backstory, and it's something along the lines of they're, like, an alien race that crashed on Earth, and they were supposed to bring, like, their superior culture to Earth, but then they realized how fucking stupid we were, and they wanted just to leave, but they couldn't get their ship fixed. The only piece of culture that this alien race liked and actually thought was good was metal, and so they started doing metal. And that's why they kill like pop stars and politicians. It's like, you guys are just garbage people, like whatnot. Again, I could be making that completely up, but for some reason in my head, I think that's what the backstory for Gwar is. But it was after Knotfest Iowa last year where I saw Gwar and I was like, maybe I had a few drinks and it was way too hot. So I was like
sunsick, sunburn.
We'll call it sunsick with a bit of a hangover or a bit of a drunkenness.
Yeah, you weren't hungover yet.
Yeah, not yet. A bit of a buzz, sun buzz, we'll call it that.
Sun buzz.
I was sun buzzed enough where I was like, just in the great mood, like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. So I finally get and understand Gwar, and I fucking love it now. I'm a fan now. But before I was like, they have one song that I like, everything else is kind of meh. I don't like it. No, I'm a fan for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that I would go see a Gwar show, but definitely at a festival, it's kind of fun to check out.
Yeah.
So for me, anyways,
and that's basically the only time we've seen them at festivals.
Yeah. So overall, for the whole weekend of Sulfur and the Acacia Strain were my 2 number 1 highlights. I'm so glad we saw them. Unfortunately, they were both on the bar stage, so it was like a very tight crowd, but I'm glad that we got to see both of those.
But good energy with that, right?
Yeah.
Acacia Strain, that was also during Dillinger Escape Plan, so we didn't get to go check that out.
No.
I would have enjoyed that. You don't like Dillinger,
No, we went and saw them like last September or something.
At the Salt Shed, yeah. So I thought that would be cool to check them out again, but the Acacia Strain was fun. It was packed in there. And I think they even made a comment of like, holy fuck, you guys know Dillinger's over in the other room, right?
Yeah.
Highlights for me, Frozen Soul, as you said, for sure. We did check out a little bit of Trouble. I'm still not a Trouble fan. I do not like their stuff.
Because Trouble's doom, but it's like that different type of doom. It's like kind of like the thrashy old metal doom.
I don't know. Maybe there's some doom aspect. There's like one of the founders of doom apparently.
Yeah.
To me, that's Sabbath. To me, Black Sabbath it's the founding of metal. But like, to me, if Black Sabbath was a band today, or they just came out today, it'd be Doom in my mind. I like the Mother of Graves style of Doom, the In Company of Serpents style of Doom. That's the kind of Doom I fucking like.
Yeah.
So
Chemists
as well, but even Chemists is sort of on the edge of that.
Yeah,
Doom.
they are. Yeah,
they're slower shit. In a Conversation with Death and In the Pines, that definitely dips down into the stuff I really really like. Yeah. So yeah, stayed around for a little bit of Trouble, but yeah, still not a fan of them. Frozen Soul, as I said. Honey Trap, I fucking loved.
Oh, I forgot about Honey Trap. Yeah, they were like the first main stage band that we saw.
They were the first main stage band we saw. I don't think you liked them.
I did not like them that much.
It's an old school rock sound.
It is very rocky.
There were a couple of bands. I can't remember the other band, but there's another band we saw earlier in the weekend.
Oh,
was that the
Thousand Frames?
Yes. They were another of those rocky bands. Oh, fuck yeah, I forgot about them.
Yeah, they were on the bar stage, opened the bar stage.
They were really good too. They were from Denver.
Yeah.
And the guy is from Milwaukee, the lead singer, who's now out in Denver. Yeah. Fuck, I forgot about them.
Yeah.
I liked that as well. Like the old school rock sound. You don't get much of that here because, again, it's a metal festival, and this is like a true fucking metal festival, right? But the rock, like...
Yeah, it's not like even Chicago Open Air had some like
Yep.
rock aspects to it and stuff. Yeah, this is very metal focused.
So I like having the rock, the old school sort of rock sound to bands come out and whatnot. Definitely makes sense for an earlier day, for sure, because like people aren't necessarily this crowd isn't necessarily going here for the rock aspect.
Yeah.
They want to be kicked in the fucking teeth with metal, right?
Yeah.
So I get that, but I also like the change up every now and then. So Honey Trap for me, I was like, fuck, these guys are awesome. I thought they were great.
The one thing with Honey Trap I think I was focused on a lot is the female guitarist that was on stage right, or no, stage left, excuse me, like all the way on the right. She just looked so nervous, or like constantly looking at the vocalist, and like, I don't know, she just looked so uncomfortable. And in my mind, I'm like, this is easy for me to say because I have no confidence, but like, just fucking have fun, have confidence.
Yeah.
Like you're doing fine. But,
I got that vibe too. I was trying to, in my head, I was like, all right, there's some sort of band dynamic thing going on here.
Yeah.
Or are you watching for the keys of when you need to do the thing?
I think I was watching more.
Because I think, again, she was more the rhythm.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing the solos. The guy over by us was doing the solos. That was one thing I remember as well. The bassist was fucking phenomenal there. I remember him being just fucking killer.
Yeah.
And those two were over there. And we ended up leaving and going to their side of the stage for a little bit as well. That was kind of fun. Who else for me? Deep Within was so much fucking fun.
Yeah, they were fun. Yeah,
I had a
wish
blast
they would have
watching
played.
them.
I wish they would have played more because I think they only got like 15 minutes or so. But even when they were like told, "Oh, you have one more song," and they were like, "Oh, well, we have 3 more on our set list," you know, like, and we heard that a couple times over the weekend, like, "Oh, we had to cut this short or whatever." So
yeah,
I mean, it's a festival. That's
it
what
is.
happens.
Yep. Amigo the Devil, we've already talked about that. That was fucking phenomenal. Acacia Strain, I enjoyed that set. Gwar was fun. Arch Enemy, we had just seen Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
I'm glad we went to that show, so we got to see the longer set and the full set.
Otherwise, we would have missed half of it anyways. And we talked about not going to Arch Enemy. I think that episode's posted before this one is, so you can listen to that.
Yeah, that actually went up tonight.
Tonight as we're recording, yeah. So we kind of talk about that as well, like how we almost didn't buy Arch Enemy tickets, but I'm really glad we did because of the whole aspect that we left their set early to go see Acacia Strain. So
then other than that, it was a bunch of bouncing around for me, going all over the place. Again, the day blew fucking by. Oh shit, the cat scared me. Sorry, bud. The day blew by for me.
It did. It went by so fast. I couldn't believe it was over. So like when it became 10 o'clock, I was like, holy fuck, I can't believe it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah. But yeah, that's sort of a wrap up of all 3 days.
Yeah.
Highlights for me, as I said, I guess I've said it throughout, so whatever. You were listening, hopefully, and those were my highlights. Things, we talk about this with festivals, nothing's perfect. Things that can be improved, that you can think of positive, negatives for this. Yeah, what do you have for this?
I got a big one. So they had some updates where last year they had like big banner type things with the set lists or set times on it.
Yes.
Which kind of makes sense because last year they had to put like some tape over some things and like change some times and stuff like that, or change some bands around or something.
And this could be a change with the Rave itself having these screens.
I think so, yeah. So the Rave has just LED screens.
Basically like giant TVs.
Like TVs, yeah. The one complaint that I liked having that. The one complaint I have is one was between the stairway and not the bar stage, but the bar for the second stage.
There's a bar between the second stage and basically the bar stage.
Yeah, I think it's called like the craft bar or something.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
So there's one right there. And that position, and I'm sure it is like the Rave just has it there for like advertisements and stuff, but that position made it chaotic right there because everybody was stopping to see what the set times were, and then you couldn't really get up the stair. Like, does that make sense? Like the flow was all messed up.
There are 2 staircases that go up to the next level where you can then go up again to the ballroom. I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
And they do have 2 of these like TV screens. One of them had the set times. The other one did have like a rotating advertising thing. But I thought the exact same thing, is like, this is a shitty position to have this, because a lot of people did congregate right there by that. So it basically stopped one stairwell, like, or just blocked it for a little bit of time. Yeah. So I think that could have been improved as well.
Yeah. The other one was upstairs by the bar, like in that second level.
Yep,
Not the ballroom, but the second level. So maybe they'll kind of change that next year and like maybe put one up there and then one like in the craft bar or something. I don't know. But I liked having that better than that big banner in the middle.
I liked the big banner in the middle. It's so massive that you can just sort of at a glance see it.
Oh, that's true.
Where these screens are a little bit smaller, so you do kind of, with my old eyes, sort of have to like squint and see what's going on there.
Yeah.
But I get like you now don't have to pay for a banner, right? You can just put them on the screen. So I understand what they're doing, and yes, it's a positive. I prefer that, but this is overall a positive.
Yeah. Something that was kind of weird, I guess, not necessarily like a change or anything, because a lot of venues are going to cashless, but some days the bar would take cash, some days they wouldn't. It was kind of back and forth.
And only one bar.
That we saw.
The craft bar.
Yeah. So that was kind of odd. A lot of the food vendors took cash outside as well, which was nice, because, some places don't even do that, but I feel like they had more food this year. Do you think they had more food?
I think it was about the same.
Oh, really?
I would say, yeah.
Maybe just more I was into this year than,
yeah.
Man, the tacos. I don't even know what truck that was, but those tacos were so good. You had pizza every day, all day long?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
So, but yeah, no, otherwise I think it went over well. They stayed on time this year. Last year they got off.
It was on time, yep.
So everything stayed on time. Bands were fantastic. Lineup was fantastic. Weather sucked, but that's not Milwaukee Metal Fest's fault.
Yeah.
So, which I think kind of helped us see more music, maybe, because I remember last year we went outside a lot.
We did go outside quite a bit, yeah.
One, it was hot inside, so you had to go outside and cool off. But also, like, it was just kind of nice to just hang out outside, and we would talk to people outside and stuff like that. Where this year it was kind of like, okay, let's go get our food and go right back inside because it's cold.
Yeah. Last year in that courtyard or food court area or bar garden, whatever, the bar garden, they had last year and this year is water pumps, basically, where you can get refillable water if you have a cup or whatnot. Last year it ran out by the midday or something. This year, not so much, I think, because it wasn't so hot.
Yeah. We never utilized it this year.
We did not utilize it this year. We should have brought a refillable container, which we didn't do. Yeah. We ended up buying like Liquid Death, which comes in those cans.
Like once a day. Though.
Yeah.
We were not drinking enough water.
So there's that. So a good thing to know, like next year, definitely bring it thinking they're going to have it. Yeah. It's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
And that's the negative for me. The Rave doesn't have free water outside of faucet water, which again, I'm fine drinking faucet water. Yeah.
I think next year we probably will take like one of those bladder things. Like we have like the roll up bladder things. And then if they don't have that free water outside, just fill it up at the sink. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
A negative for me is with the Rave more than anything, and it's the only negative I really have toward the Rave, is since year one of Milwaukee Metal Fest, and again, it's been 3 years, right? They have increased their beer prices quite significantly.
Yeah.
You get like a 12-ounce can of beer for $14 if you're getting like an IPA, which is what I like to drink. To me, that's fucking ridiculous. It costs $10 to $12 for a 6-pack, and you're charging $14 on top of, then you tip on top of that and whatnot. And so I'd go back there and it's $25 to get a beer and a soda or a beer and a water for you plus tip. And it's like, fucking Christ, this adds up quick.
Yeah, in the first year, I mean, granted, we had like a little secret thing the first year, but
just a connection, like
a connection.
The bartender liked me for some reason and gave me free beer.
Yeah. So, but or just charge you a soda or whatever. Yeah. But even then, like the beers were only like $9 maybe.
Yeah, that's reasonable for a 12-ounce can.
Yeah, which is why we liked the Rave, because it was like, oh, it's affordable to go to and all that stuff. I understand all the prices are just fucked up everywhere.
But it's been this way for a while.
Yeah.
So again, that's just one negative I have. Is like,
I'm sure they're just going with any other venue in the area.
They are, and I like whatever. But again, I get it. They had a tattoo section this year. They didn't have that last year. That was kind of cool.
I wonder how busy that was.
It wasn't crazy busy, but they seemed like they have a bunch of people come through. There were times where I saw nobody, and there were times where I saw everybody there.
Like both beds were taken.
Oh, whatever how many booths they had. Yeah.
Was it 2?
I think 3 to 4.
Oh, 3? Okay.
I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, sometimes, like especially early in the morning, there'd be nobody, and then mid-afternoon it was packed. Yeah. Not packed. Every booth or every
bed was
station was taken.
Station, not bed. Yeah, I say bed, but
Lineup was good again this year for me. Another positive there. Communication again around those VIP packages. I would have liked to seen those packages advertised like they had previous years. We would have only gotten one instead of the two that we tried the year before. Because that was sort of a negative we had last year is like, one, we didn't get what was advertised. And two, just the communication around it and the organization of it was not that great. So I get, like, just eliminate that, then you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So, all right, whatever. I do wish they brought back the venue tours.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. I think only us three did it, which we did see. I wish I went and said hi to him. But
We think it was him, yeah.
I'm pretty sure because I saw him like 3 other times, and I should have said something. But the gentleman that we can't remember his name, unfortunately, but that we did the venue tour with last year was there again this year. But I honestly think we were the only 3 that did it because I remember the guy saying there's only 3.
Yeah.
So I think we're the only.
And they were
people.
offering multiple tours, and maybe we were the only ones that did it.
Yeah.
And even that, like, again, that was a negative last year. The communication around that, the organization around that wasn't that great. But the venue tour, once it finally kicked off and got going, was so much fun.
Was so cool.
So highly recommend. Like, I think we highly recommend it. Like, if they do this next year, fucking check it out.
Yeah.
You're going to possibly miss music, but I don't know.
We got a guided tour by Gabby who helped with production. I don't know if she's still there or not.
I don't know if she's still there either. Yeah.
Because I was trying to look for her, but she might have been in the back or whatever this year.
Well, also last year we saw her the pre-party, and she's like, "This is the only time you will see me."
Oh, right, because she's always in the back.
Yep. Yeah. So she could have been the same thing, like always behind the scenes.
Exactly. But it was really cool, and to get like the guided tour and the little thing, like the little tidbits of the venue and everything.
Yep.
But also at Christmas time. I think the last 4 years, 5 years, 4 years.
Since 2020, they've done it.
Yeah, so 4 years. Well, that'd be 5 years then.
This year will be the 5th year. Or
2020, 2021, 2, 3, 4.
Inclusive. Yeah.
So, but anyways, whatever, that doesn't really matter. But they do like haunted Christmas type thing. It's a self-guided tour around the venue. But you get to see some things that you don't get to see.
Like the pool.
Like the pool. And the dressing rooms and like.
Yep.
I guess not the gym. You don't see the gym.
You do not.
We saw that on the tour.
Which, that was kind of cool this year, is the second stage, there's a bar directly behind the second stage, both on the lower level and up in the balcony. I did go up there and I kind of hung out there for a bit and looked down on the crowd. It was a really fun spot to be in. That's the only time I've ever been up to that bar. So, of course, I had to buy a drink and then have a drink up there and watch some music and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've never seen that open, but we also don't buy VIP tickets for regular shows. So it could be open for regular shows.
And last year, that center section was for the higher VIP.
Yeah.
This year it was open for basically everyone. I think everybody could have used that second stage.
Yeah, the balcony. Yeah, I don't think they were checking tags at all or whatever.
But yeah, I was also going to say, like, highly recommend the venue tour if they offered it, but since they don't, definitely checking out that haunted holiday thing. Is so much fun and well worth it. I think it was like $40, $45. You got a free drink plus you got to walk around. It was a lot of fun.
And as long as you want to take. I mean, up to a point because, like.
They'll eventually close.
They'll close it, but it's not like, oh, you have to get this done in like 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
But, I guess let's wrap it up real quick, going over our festival rankings. I think we're basically the same. You have, the main difference here is you have Milwaukee Metal Fest above Headbangers Boat. Yeah. Also, we've included all the Milwaukee Metal Fest together. There's a couple times we'll split it out if it's vastly different, such as Open Air and Not Fest, because those different years are vastly different. But I'm going to classify this as the same as the last few years. It's been basically rinse and repeat, and it's been fucking great.
Yes, I hope they keep doing it exactly how they're doing it, with the little improvements
every year.
Little
tweaks here and there. Yep. Try something new if it doesn't work, whatever, Like, I'm fine with you trying some new things.
Just don't change it up too much, because it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
No, and I think I only have Milwaukee Metal Fest and Headbangers Boat flipped from you, just because Milwaukee Metal Fest I get more excited for.
Okay.
I love the boat, but that's kind of like our location. So it's kind of one of those things. But both of them to me, I mean, if you could do 2 number 2s, they would just be right there. So
yeah, and you know what? I'm going to keep it right where I have it to at number 3. Chicago Open Air, Headbangers Boat, and then Milwaukee Metal Fest number 3. All these 3 years we've been, and then Denver and Bel Air Metal for me. So yeah, basically it's the same for you. Just those 2 are flipped. I actually haven't looked lower on the list. There might be some differences there, but yeah, at the top it's those ones for sure.
Yep.
Anywho, that's it. I don't think it's been 3 hours, maybe closer to 2.
2 hours.
A little better this time around.
I think by Sunday we were kind of like, we did this, and then we did this, and then we did this.
But yeah, it was a blast. I hope you got a chance to go check this out. If you didn't, go check out live music somewhere else. Like, live music's fucking awesome. If it's a festival or a small show, whatever it is, doesn't matter what size, it's fucking live music. So get out there, explore some music, see some live music, and maybe we'll see you at the next show.
Bye.